Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the class. Hope you all are safe and fine. So, we are studying a lesson that is about components of the environment and interrelationships. In that, first we saw components of the environment, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Then we came to a point where we saw man-made environment, where human beings collect different biotic and abiotic components of the nature and make an artificial environment that is suitable to them. Then we saw something about distribution of water on the surface of the earth. We saw that there is 71% of water surface on the earth. Major oceans that are Pacific, Atlantic, Indian and Arctic Ocean. Now, today we are going to learn about sea waves. Sea waves arise from various forces. Normal waves are created by the wind blowing over the sea surface. Sometimes what happens when the air moves from the surface of the sea, it produces waves. High waves are formed by whirlwind or storm. Now, a normal air or normal wind cannot produce high waves. High waves are produced when there is a storm or whirlwind. When these waves reach the coast, they cause heavy damage. Now, when these large waves or high waves reach the coast, they cause damage. Now, next topic is tides and ebbs. Twice a day, sea level rises and falls periodically. Now, it is a periodic motion, means that it continues every day, that the sea level rises and falls, that is twice in a day, means 2 times in a day. This phenomenon of rising and falling of sea is called tide and ebb. At the time of high tide, sea water bulges towards the shore, while at the time of ebb, the sea water returns to the sea from the shore. Now, what happens when the sea water moves towards the shore? It is known as tide. But when the water returns back to the sea, it is known as ebb. The time interval between two tides is about 12.25 hours, means 12 hours and 25 minutes. Now, what happens? Tide is when the water from the sea moves towards the shore, and ebb is when the water comes back to the sea from the shore. Now, the interval between two tides is 12 hours and 25 minutes. Now, tide occurs on the earth due to gravitational force of the sun and the moon. Now, how do these tides occur? They occur because of the gravitational force of sun and moon. The mass of the sun is more than the moon, but is far away from the earth. So, the gravitational force of moon is more on the earth. Now, what happens? That mass of sun is more. We know that already. But what happens? That moon is very much far from the earth comparing to the moon. So, the gravitational force applied by sun is not that much as it is in the case of moon. Means the gravitational force of moon acts more on earth than sun. Different parts of the earth face the sun and the moon at different times. So, tides also come at different time. Now, different part of earth faces the sun and moon at different time because of rotation and revolution. So the tides also come at different time. They don't have any fixed time. On the day of new moon and full moon, the sun, the earth and the moon come almost in a straight line. This condition results in high tide. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the gravitational pull results in low tides. Now, what happens on the day of new moon and full moon? Earth, sun, and moon, they are in a straight line. This results in high tide. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the gravitational pull reduces and it results in low tides. Now, something about ocean currents. Like the rivers on the earth, the oceans also have huge amount of water flowing in certain direction for thousands of years. These currents are called ocean currents. Now what happens? The water in the ocean moves in a certain direction, in a fixed direction for many years. So these currents are called ocean currents. These currents are hot and cold. The main causes of current are solar energy, wind, salinity of seawater and rotation of the earth. Now what causes this hot and cold currents? Solar energy, wind energy, the amount of salt in the seawater and the rotation of earth. Mostly hot currents move from the equator to the poles and cold currents move from the poles to the equator. Why so? Because the sun rays fall directly on the equator. So the water or the part of ocean near equator consists of hot currents, whereas the polar region do not receive that much of solar light or solar heat, so the ocean have cold currents here. So we are going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll be seeing about interrelationship among the components of the environment. I want you all to once go through the content. Bye everyone. Thank you.